when you mix health and safety with politics, everyone dies.
Yeah. Gas is great. Gas is good. Now we thank gas for our food. You're like, what is this, man? You're going to go in Virosaurus Rex's?
Okay.
That's what we call Vera. She's cost the industry, no lie, billions, not millions. Oh yeah, they're.
I know. That's one of the reasons why.
They would toss her off a cliff if they could get the golf course. There's a well pad. That's our drinking water supply for the entire area, and it's surrounded by wells. So what could go wrong? And then you know how you tell your water's going bad when it either looks like that or mine did not change color. You know what mine did? Trick my son. Mine did not change color. It stayed clear, but it started tasting like metal in 2013. First thing they do, and you'll see it, because they're up by Ray's, they're drilling, they're doing the vertical. First they set up the pad. That's hundreds of truck trips to bring all the equipment up to set up the pad. Okay. The pad is big. It's usually 7 to 9 acres. It's a pretty big spot. They usually flatten it, and they pound it down. Nothing will ever grow there again, because they smash the dirt down until nothing can penetrate the soil. It's like asphalt almost. They really get it smooth. Then they bring up the equipment that's up there now. The rig that goes over the top and it drills the vertical holes that sets the first casing. That's called punching through. That bit is just straight down, and they don't go 8,000 feet with that one. They only go to the set of casing, a couple hundred feet, usually 500 feet, whatever. They're going below the water table to set the casing. Let me tell you though, my guy that I found, 37-year former master driller who works with us now, is now an expert witness, but he worked onshore, offshore oil and gas for 37 years. He's got every certificate you can have, right? So we bring him and he goes, oh yeah, the first thing we do is punch through the aquifer. We call it punching through.
Right.
No protective casing. There's nothing. They take a bit with inverted mud on it. It has diesel fuel, barium. It's mixed with all. It's caked on the end of this $1.5 million drill bit because they don't want to screw up the drill bit. So it's been put in a hole and then brought out and put in a hole. So any contaminants, it's taken from hole to hole, which is not very good either. And so people watch the commercials and they think, well, there's a protective measure there. There isn't any protective measure. Now I come up when there's, like, you guys are the first elected officials or running for office people that have ever come up and toured from Pennsylvania. Not one other time in 8 years. I've toured 24 members of parliament. 60 countries have come with their Channel 1 television station.
Say that again, the first part of it again?
No elected official representing any higher, any kind has ever come to tour. You guys are the first group. There's what, two elected officials here and people running for office. There's no interest. Matter of fact, the first thing the 24 members of parliament, I'm talking from South Africa, UK, Australia, Canada, I mean, we're talking MPs. They come here and they go, where are your elected officials on this? And I said, not one local, county, state, or federal elected official that represents us as tax-paying citizens have ever bothered to come and sit with their own constituents to see what's going on. There's your problem right there. Yeah. We had 4 years of Governor Drillbit. I'm seeing Corbett. Yeah. I called him out to his face and he was not very happy about it. That to frack, they put 20,000 pounds of pressure, PSI, at the wellhead. 20,000 PSI.
Wow, okay.
Because they got to get the pressure down at the end where they're trying to do the fracturing. They used to use nitroglycerin caps to do the fracturing because they have to explode it. So they send this line, they send a line down, and they set off the charges, and they go sideways to fracture. The old caps were like a shotgun. They would go wide and not so deep. So you know what they're using now? Because Ray got, when he had their water tested at Demick and it had depleted uranium showed up in the water, and we went to the media with it, and the industry went, are you kidding me? Iran would be here getting processed uranium from so they made fun of us. And then about 2 years after we were told we were idiots, we get an anonymous email from somebody that says, Google Halliburton and depleted uranium fracking. They own the patent. So here's why. As you know, when you use depleted uranium in shells, it'll penetrate straight and it goes a lot further than you will with some kind of explosion like nitroglycerin. So they've been using depleted uranium in 2 parts of the process. Fracturing, look at the roads. I mean, this is our county alone gets $500,000 a year from the impact fees. Look at this. The state does not, and this is all truck traffic.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
When they do the fracking, they get rid of the rig, they bring pumps, 50,000 horsepower pumps to put 20,000 PSI at the wellhead. They're jamming water down. First they explode it, then they send the water down with the sand. Now it's silica. So silica is 100 times more dangerous than asbestos, as OSHA says. 100 times.
They had problems, they signed non-disclosures. And we have copies of the non-disclosures if anybody wants them, which is also...
You should tell them about the softeners.
But they have
we're gonna go by and see
non-disparagement
what they're
also area where there's industrial zones, right? You know, I'm raised in the New York City area.
Right.
Industrial zones, you do not put things right next to homes, or you might have to buy the homes because you don't want the people living next to them.
And they bought the farm, and this literally, they bought the farm.
They bought the farm.
Yeah, all they do is buy the
Right,
mineral rights
but
and
right
some
next to
training.
the farm,
Is that
all
what they
around
do?
the farm is houses.
Gotcha.
And the supervisors of this county, they have brochures. I can send you the brochures, all beautiful, colorful, and it shows that there are 5 or 6 on the list as job producers for our county. That's after everything that they've been doing and the way they promote themselves because they're braggadocious.
But there's nobody here.
There's nobody here.
Rescue squad in our fire department is called United Fire Company. We used to have a billboard up with Dan Dingy's the CEO with all the United Fire Company guys around him. We love Cabot. They're the best. You're like, what the? Wait, my dad just said, if you own the first responders, it's all over with. The first responders will not help us for anything. One season, his cows had 19 calves, 17 were stillborn. They died right there. You know what the DEP calls it and the ag? Oh, it's a farmer's luck. You're like, what? They had white eyes and cleft palates and they born and lived for an hour and died. And even the adult cows died because they got exposed to the chemicals they're breathing. The animals can't go indoors and lock themselves up. They're standing outside with that. Those buildings they built like brick houses, guess what happens when an explosion happens inside? Pieces of that building fly a half a mile in every direction. So meth lab got busted there.
Meth lab.
Yeah, that was a meth lab. Now, watch this. See the manure spreader right there? We're gonna stop here.
A manure
This is
spreader?
the Sautners. This is the Sautners. The house used to sit right here. Beautiful 3-bedroom home. See the effigies of the family? We'll pull up so you can see it. That's Craig, Julie, and the kids on the manure spreader.
It's on the north, it's the north side. Yeah, right. Black Lodge, right there. High Point here. Well, it was fun until, all the crap out here. City came in, and now somebody else.